back to Deadscape Diaries, where the ordinary slips into the unknown. Tonight, we're diving into two chilling Reddit tales, stories whispered by strangers, but impossible to forget once you've heard them. So settle in, dim the lights, and listen closely, because in the dark corners of the internet, some stories feel a little too real. A Wendigo broke into my house, written by Bloodhunter 62. Before I begin, I'm a 16-year-old male. About 3 years ago, I was in Virginia visiting family over summer. We were right outside the DC area and staying in a 2-story house near the freeway. On the other side of the freeway was a forest, so my mom, her boyfriend, Eric, and I were all staying with Eric's parents. We had brought some night vision binoculars and decided that tonight was the perfect time to use them. So after dinner, we gear up and head out. We pass under the freeway and head into the woods. When we get about 5 minutes into the forest, we set down our bags and took out our binoculars. My mom looks around with them for a while, seeing a few squirrels here and there. She gets tired of them and passes them to me. I look around for a while, being careful not to look at the freeway for fear of being blinded. I spot something behind a tree about 50 feet to our left. I concentrate on it, trying to figure out what it is. It looks like a pale, bald, anorexic man looking straight at us from behind the tree. I get a bit uneasy, but I'm hesitant to believe it's really there. I ask Eric to take a look, just in case. To my despair, he sees it too. He describes it much the same way I did. Now, Eric is a former amateur boxer, and I train MMA almost every day. But neither of us wants to stick around with that thing. We start heading back to the house, crossing under the freeway. We take another look behind us as a car comes by. All three of us see glowing eyes lit up by the headlights on the other side of the freeway. We say, screw that, and head back to the house. When we get back, Eric's parents are asleep, and my mom and Eric go upstairs to the guest room. There's only one guest room, so I have the couch downstairs. I'm a little too excited after seeing the thing in the woods, so I end up staying up all night. Around 3 a.m., I'm watching TV and start hearing footsteps above me. I immediately remember our earlier encounter and panic a little more. I try to calm down and tell myself it's just one of those dogs or maybe someone who couldn't sleep. I keep hearing the footsteps for a while, until I hear a doorknob jiggle. I find it weird that they're trying to open a locked door, but try to ignore it. They stop, walk around for a few minutes, and then it's quiet again. I stay up until the sun starts coming up, and then pass out. My mom wakes me up, and I remember the footsteps from the night before. I described what happened and asked if one of them got up at any time. She says no, and I think it must have been one of the dogs. That is, until she tells me the room above me is the office. No one was in the office, and the door stays locked at night. My heart sinks as I piece it all together. I don't know if it was that thing for sure, but I think it was. I've done a lot of research since then, trying to figure out what the thing was that night. I found 2 creatures that seemed to match it. I think it was either a skinwalker or a wendigo. Whichever one it was, I'm just thankful that the door was locked. I know I wouldn't be able to fight that thing no matter how tough I am. Please lock your doors. Written by Groundbreaking_local. I posted this one a while ago, but it got lost. However, since it's been a year after the incident, I figured this would be a good place to share it, as it's about someone I never ever want to come across again. It all started and ended the day after I took my last final at this community college. I don't know if it was a stalker or if it was a break-in gone weird, so from the beginning, I was so nervous that I was going to fail this one class and was not going to be able to receive my AA degree. Later in the day, I was out at the pool in my apartment complex with some friends and my roommates when I checked my phone and saw I passed my class. I got excited, told everyone we were celebrating because I was the last one to have a final. It was 3 days before I got to walk and graduate with this degree that I decided we should have some fun before we all went our separate ways. As it got later into the night, we decided not to go out and to stay in. We invited a couple more people over and went on with the night. Around 2 in the morning, people started to leave and head to bed. The only people left were my 2 roommates, both of the people they were dating, and one other friend. We were still messing around, and because our apartment was on the first floor and next to the pool, we went to go night swimming. As soon as we were done with that, I was ready to just hang out and be in for the night. My roommates and the other friend all left to go somewhere else for a little while, which was fine, nothing out of the ordinary for me to be home alone. I got some food and went to my room to hang out until they got back. The way my room is set up in our apartment is that it's all the way in the back. It's behind the kitchen, and you'd have to go through the whole apartment to get there. Because our apartment was in the front of the complex and near the pool, it was near the front gate, and at the time, the gate was left open because it was broken. I have never had an issue with living this close up front until this night. My room was one big window, and you can easily see into my room when I don't have the blinds or curtains shut. I had a closet with mirror doors, which if you look in through the window, you can see every part of my room in it. So while I was waiting for my friends to get back, I fell asleep. The last time I looked at a clock was around 3:30 in the morning. Also, key part in this, my bedroom light was on when I went to sleep. The next time I woke up, it was around 5:30 a.m. There was slow flashes going off. It was like I had a strobe light going off in the corner of my room. I woke up really confused and thought it was my friends coming back to mess with me. Once my eyes got more adjusted, because the room was now dark, I realized that in fact it was not my friends messing with me, but a single man who was at least 6'1", wearing a green Nike hoodie with the hood on in the corner of my room, by my closet, holding a phone and taking pictures of me. I don't think he'd realized I'd woken up, until the reality sunk in and I said, "What the hell?" And instead of coming at me or running out of my room, the man put the phone down and walked out of my room, not saying anything, not in a panic, he just walked out. Me being the dumbass I am, ran after him saying, "Hey." I tried to follow him out, but once I got to the front door, I didn't see him anywhere. Ran back inside, woke up all my roommates asking if they were messing with me. When they said no, I called the police. I looked around my room and saw the only thing missing was my laptop that was on my desk in the far corner of my room. The weirdest part about that was the fact my laptop was in the farthest part of my room with my door closed, and outside in the kitchen on the counter was 3 other MacBook laptops, 2 wallets, and at least a $300 speaker. But the only thing missing from the whole apartment was my laptop. Later on, I found out that the front door and the patio door were never locked when everyone got back, and that the police couldn't find the guy or my computer. What made things worse was that the SIM disc from my camera was in the computer, so all my personal photos from that camera were now accessible to this guy. Some things I saw a couple days later while I was getting ready to move out freaked me out even more. Like I said earlier, if you looked in my window, you could see my closet mirrors and see just about my whole room. One thing that was super noticeable was my tapestry. It was a very distinct and different kind of tapestry. It has 2 wolves howling up to a moon, and is all black and white. One day, when I was packing my car, I happened to look up. It was starting to get dark, and as I looked up, I noticed in the apartment above mine, through the blinds on the wall, was the same exact tapestry as the one that was in my room. What creeped me out even more was the fact that I had little purple lights I put on it from my mom, because she knows my favorite color is purple. In that room, above the lights in the fan, were switched out for the purple ones. As if I wasn't creeped out enough, an all-black cat came up to the window, and my stomach started to feel weird, because the year before I was still living in my room, I got a baby kitten that was all black. In the end, the guy was never found, and I never saw his face, which freaks me out to this day, and I hope I never come across him again. I never got my laptop back, and never found my SIM disc to my camera. My best advice to anyone in a college town is no matter what, always lock the doors, because you never know who you could wake up to. If you made it this far into the dark, thank you for braving these stories with me. If you enjoyed tonight's descent into the unknown, consider subscribing to Deadscape Diaries. It helps the channel grow and keeps the shadows whispering. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, some stories don't end when the video does.